the table in the tavern. My name is Patrick. Um, we're gonna do a little Avatar Legends playing the Chronicles of Zaitao this week, and because we're playing a TTRPG, I brought along some friends. We're gonna go around our virtual table and introduce each of them now. Starting off with Brian, to my right. Go ahead, Brian. You are muted. Tell us a little bit about the character you're playing tonight, and a little bit about yourself, perhaps.
I'll be playing Flint, who is a military soldier from Omashu, who just finished a 4-year service in the military. He wants to rejoin the world, found this group, been doing very well at that, and fighting arenas, in the cities with this group, all that. My name's Brian, been working at Quaker for a while. I got into the RPGs through Damien and Patrick. Been trying to get me into it for a while now. I finally did it, and I've been having a good time ever since.
Thank you for that, Brian. It means a lot to me to hear you say that. As I have a big part of that RPG experience. You played 2 games with me, and then you played multiple games with Damon and myself. Which is something I've been thinking about. All it is as easy as me just clicking a button. I may end up starting to bring all those other different broadcasts to the table as well. Why not? I may talk to Chris about doing the same thing, and like Monday nights we'll play those games. Just bring it over there. Yeah, I'll just broadcast it. Why not? There's no sense in not doing it. It's fun. It's just fun stuff. Anyway, as you were saying, Brian, Quaker, yeah. I worked at Quaker, met most of these people at Quaker. Scrappy Dappy Doo or Andrew, I actually met working at Olive Garden years ago, as well as like Chris. Co-workers, you make little, you create relationships, and some of those relationships are lasting. Normally due to our hobbies. Our hobbies keep us united. You know what I mean? And that's kind of the cool thing. All right, continuing on, Damon. Damon, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little about yourself, a little about the character you'll be playing tonight.
Hello, I am Damon. I go by GMDad88 on most platforms. As Brian mentioned, I too am a game master for various games. Patrick invited me to play this Avatar game. It's been very fun so far. My character is an old guy named Old Hanzu. His path is... I can't remember what his playbook is off the top of my head. But basically, he's just trying to make sure that he rectifies his past from some old, trauma and turmoils. And he's kind of taken one of the players under his wing, which is Amanda's character, because she's got kind of like the bubbly, happy-go-lucky kind of character, and he was like that as a young kid, and it kind of all went south for him. So he's just kind of being like the dad to her character to make sure that nothing bad happens, and it's been pretty entertaining so far.
Indeed, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. All right, continuing on, we have actually Scrappy Dappy Doo.
Yeah, it's your boy Scrappy Dappy Doo here. Yeah, no, as Pat said, I met him working at an Olive Garden, and our hobbies definitely aligned with each other when it comes to just role playing games, Dungeons and Dragons, Avatar, even beyond gaming. If you want to add a little wrestling to that. But definitely was interested in playing the Avatar game for sure. I play a scronkly little waterbender named Sarlocke, who definitely considers himself more of a loner than anything, and yeah, he's definitely got some badass waterbending skills.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry, I was a little off there. I forgot to let you finish, but yeah. Yeah, we are definitely, that's something that definitely you and I have a bond with, wrestling. I'm a huge wrestling nerd.
I'm just saying, just for the listeners out there that heard wrestling, and for those that are a part of the cult following, our boy CM Punk did it. He's main eventing WrestleMania.
Well, there it is. You know, it's been a while since he's been the main event. Let's hope he doesn't screw it up again.
Yeah, crossing fingers on that one.
Yeah. We could talk about wrestling all night, and at some point I'll probably invite Scrappy on just to talk about wrestling. I'd love to do that. But anyway, continuing on, Amanda, another one of my former co-workers, please go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the character you're going to be playing tonight. You are muted. Miss Amanda Grant, you are currently muted. Oh,
Wait, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, my bad.
Did I break you at work today?
What?
He asked if he broke you at work today. What happened?
Listen, I came in broke this morning, alright? I don't want to hear it.
We all have those days.
I came into work with my shirt inside out and backwards and had no idea until someone told me.
Well, that takes a good friend to tell you.
Oh yeah. Well,
Matt staring at his phone the entire day, not even realizing you have the shirt inside out.
no, everybody realized it at work when I came in the morning.
Yep. Alright, well, at any rate, you've already told us a little bit about yourself. Now tell us about the character you're playing tonight.
Yeah, that quite explains a lot. Well, anyways, I am playing a waterbender by the name of Tenga. She, like old Hanzu said, very bubbly. She is very headstrong. She comes from a tribe down in the south, and she wanted to come out and do these tournaments and to work with people, to learn how to work with people and make something of herself instead of being held back by the people from the south. So that's how she came to be with these cool homies having fights and stuff.
Now, I did mention to you the last time I want to create a Roll20 for you guys, so you guys actually have like a map for you guys to actually do battle in and stuff like that. At least a visual aid for you guys and the viewers at home. If there are some, I do see a few in there every once in a while. But anyway, at any rate, I just haven't gotten around to it yet. You know, I apologize. I do have a lot of hobbies. So, anyway. The best way I find to get a session started is with a recap of what happened the session before. And I find it best to help get our players all talking and involved by asking that they do that. Would anyone like to begin with a little bit of a recap?
We had an epic preseason battle where neither team was willing to give an inch. There were struggles, there was fouls, there was even a tiny little waterbender getting the crowd pumped up for the match as much as he could. It was epic.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
That's amazing.
I'm actually very glad to hear that because, like I had said something about you guys having like preseason, then you guys like have regular season, right? Well, tonight's going to start your regular season. All right, tonight's going to start your regular season, and guess who you're facing?
Who?
Don't tell me we're having a rematch.
The Ember Fangs.
It's a rematch.
Now, wasn't that the first people we went up against, or was that the second?
The Gale
I think this
Winds
is
were the
last.
ones that you went up against first, and the Ember Fangs were the ones you went up with last night.
Oh, okay, just double checking.
All right. Hello, Jessica. How are you? Jessica just got back. She's okay. All right. Okay. So, there's a little bit more to it than just fighting in the arena, though. You guys
Yes.
have been going along with a little bit of Sherlock Holmes-ish little venture, little Hardy Boys action, you know. Who would like to talk about that?
I can.
Okay.
So there's this, we're calling him a vigilante. He had originally made a bunch of construction stuff explode, and we tried to help go die down those fires, and we found pieces from a smoke bomb. We went to go try to find out where the smoke bomb possibly could have come from, in hopes to try to find out who this vigilante is. Hesitantly, we have shown one of our coaches, and our coach was able to find someone to take a look at the bomb. Also, during one of the sessions, Vigilante had given us a flash drive, and if I remember correctly, our coach's friend has a hard drive and was going to be looking through it. And that we had that meeting, I believe, after our last match.
That sounds, yes, very, very accurate, yes. Does anyone have anything they'd like to add?
I remember that I managed to identify Flint managed to identify that some of the parts of that bomb during the meeting.
And they were determined to be military grade,
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
not by any military anyone's here has ever seen.
Yeah.
Okay. Great little tidbit. All right. Anyone else before we go ahead and get started? All right. So, with that, Avatar does have a little thing, Magpie, whatever, when they created the whole game, as far as the structure in which one of the sessions should go. And really, it's a collaborative thing. Normally, I start every session off with you guys doing a little bit of practice, maybe meeting up in the locker room, and before you guys go and do whatever it is for the day, and then celebration or whatever at the evening. It's been celebrating so far. You guys have won every match. And sometimes getting into endeavors afterwards or whatever. But like I said, that it's a collaborative thing. So, where would you guys like to start the session? Do you want to start right with us going into the arena? Do you want to start with maybe readdressing some of these, Nancy Drewish little things, or where would you like to begin?
By this point, would the coach's friend have any idea what kind of information is on that flash drive?
Oh yes, and, we have an email. And yeah, All right, so that sounds good. Good enough for me. Now let's start there. We'll start with start there. It's good enough spot, and then maybe we'll go straight into the bending tournament or bending pro bending game match. Maybe we'll forego the whole practice thing this week. After all, really, it's most of that was us all trying to get a grasp of what we're going to be doing throughout the duration. So it does give us a little more freedom. So okay. So yeah. I believe it is correct me if I'm wrong, but Coach Jim. Yeah. Check that out in the notes here. Yes, Jai. Okay, sorry. So Coach Jai, you approach her, coming up to her and asking if she's had heard anything back yet. She says that yes, she has received an email. And in the email, it had those files PDF'd and sent over. She says, I'm not really sure really what to make of it. Maybe you guys would like to take a look?
Absolutely.
Okay. So she goes up to and opens up her email and opens up that particular message, and it shows that there's 4 different PDFs that she sent over. It's basically, she says that it's the different contents that were within that thumb drive. There are 3 different PDF files that were in it. So where would you like to start with? You got 4 files.
Any
Yeah, start at the
particular
beginning?
order they're in? Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
are any of them labeled, or they just straight up
no,
up?
none of them. They don't have any labels exactly. It seems to be like some weird like that was part of her issue with trying to figure out what it was, as it was written in some backwards, strange old language that she had to then decipher. She ended up just calling them Shadow Syndicate files 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what they're labeled as. So with file number 1, okay, so when you open up that file, it actually opens up into 5 different files. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Each container, subfile, call logs, digital documents, intercepted messages, photographs, partial video recordings, and financial records.
What
Okay.
are the photos of?
So one says Iron Weeds. Another one says Stoneback Syndicate. Another one says Echo Dogs. Let me get what is the role I'm looking for here. Let me bring up the demi plane.
Yes.
This is like it would be a vigilance check with like Marvel. It'd be a an intelligence with like history or something like that with D&D. But for this, let me see. Did you send over those character sheets today, guys?
I did.
I did.
Okay, and they are in.
Mine should be in the voice chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Awesome, guys. You guys are great. Awesome. This makes it so much easier for me. You have no idea, and also it allows me to share it with everyone else as well. So, so Starlock, so it's essentially like an intelligence thing. I just want to kind of get like where would that be to?
I would assume it would be creativity.
Okay, all right. Roll with creativity then. Okay, and we'll see if you recognize any of these names.
Tanga got a 7.
A 7. You're not completely sure, but they're definitely some sort of organizations. Would anyone like to assist? If you assist, she can add a +2, which gives her a 9.
I'll assist.
Okay, that gives you a 9, which is technically a success.
Nice.
So, gangs. You point out. You're like, they sound like gangs to me. Sure enough, the Ironweeds is a gang, and it's a street gang known for extortion, protection rackets, firebending muscle. Rumor has they're being paid off by someone higher up to disrupt neighborhoods being cleared for expansion. The Ironweeds. There's a Stoneback Syndicate, another gang. It says they're smugglers who operate along the riverways, known for trafficking rare spiritual artifacts and possibly. Sorry, someone hands me a message. Oh, okay. She's going outside to smoke. Alright. Whatever, she handed me a message to tell me that. Okay, so smugglers who operate along riverways, known for trafficking rare spiritual artifacts and possibly chi-blocking weapons. Okay. And the Echo Dogs, a newer gang, using prototype tech, including powered gloves, boots, to fight benders. There's mention of a benefactor supplying them with gear. So you
I
move
wonder if
through
they all
some.
have the same benefactor.
It's great. Awesome.
Where do the financial records lead? Is there a paper trail?
And so you start looking through, you look for something that's labeled finances. Okay? Alright? I should have had you roll a creativity for that. Roll creativity.
I got a 12.
You find a file that's called financials, okay? It says that there's shell companies tied to city contractors funneling money to gang operations. Purchase of orders for unregistered chi-blocking weapons and industrial-grade explosions, okay? Now, as far as the personal files, but they're basically shell companies, okay? So they're not like real companies. They're all under some weird, you know. If you ever played my you played in some of my Marvel games, you know what I mean by a shell company.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, alright, so but that doesn't mean we can't determine some of this. You see another one labeled city officials. Okay.
City
Counselor
officials.
Hoshkin, a public pro-expansion, privately linked to weekly payments from construction firms like White Lotus Development, a firm tied to the Stoneback Syndicate. Detective Shu Rin, Internal Affairs, has flagged her for covering up gang-related homicides, and her name appears in several intercepted calls coordinating raids only on rival gangs. And then, of course, a media personality. I'm sorry, did you have something? A media personality, a popular newscaster, possibly someone who praises the players, is being blackmailed and fed propaganda to spin public opinion. Maybe that's why you guys got big so fast. There's some whistleblowers. Audio recordings that you find from former gang accountants, now presumed dead. Anonymous emails from a watcher who claims the corruption goes all the way to the league board that governs Plo Bending. A redacted confession from ex-security officer at the new expansion zone who tried to report missing explosives 2 weeks before the bombing.
That's not suspicious at all.
That's not suspicious at all.
Not at all.
Then there's some personal files, some surveillance photos of individuals interacting in public. Some are obvious criminals, others are respected figures. One folder is labeled Active Benders Citywide and includes surveillance stills and notes. One are more character, yeah.
Are we in these files?
What's that?
Are we in these files of locally
Yeah.
known? Okay.
Yes, actually. Go ahead and roll me a creativity.
12. Double sixes.
Goddamn.
Nice.
So I think it's like an 11. Because I have like a -1 or something.
It has your names with it.
What's it say about us? Or is it just our names listed?
No, it's a list of active benders in the city, and you guys are on this list, obviously.
So we're targets. That's good to
Well,
know.
yeah, well, yeah. There's some, yeah. Well, at least someone's been looking at you.
Is there a list of non-active benders?
Well, let's see what else we can find in some of those other files. Let's go ahead and look into file 2. What do you say?
Oh
Go
yeah,
back out of
let's
that
dive deeper
PDF.
into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we just started.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to drop this little tidbit in there for you. There you go. There's your files from right there. Okay, and then I just... Okay, so you open up that file and you see a name. Ryoko Zan. Has anyone ever heard that name before? Let's go ahead and I want to ask you to roll a logic. Let me go ahead and go ahead and roll with creativity. Let's roll with your creativity, guys. If you guys are working together, one of you may roll with help from the others.
I got a 9.
With help, that makes it a really great success right there. So, but yeah, 9 will work for me. So Ryu Zan, you remember hearing about this because you're military past. Okay, you know who this is. Okay, it's a high counselor of Zaitao. And so, who is Ryu Zan? High counselor of Zaitao. His public role is as a charismatic, a visionary politician, and a major supporter of the city expansion projects, including the International Pro Bending League, often seen on broadcast praising progress and cultural unity. Has a public persona that is very warm and fatherly, proud of the city, he'd say, and proud of the city's youth, and of course their benders. A face of hope and prosperity. He has a secret, though. He's a master manipulator with a long-standing ties to organized crime, and has orchestrated violent suspicions of those opposing expansions, including the following files. Got emails and intercepted calls with the known Stoneback Syndicate bosses. Audio clips. Let them riot. That's district being flattened in 6 months. Yeah, okay.
Never can trust the government, can you?
Never.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. You get an audio clip, you find an audio clip, and it's of someone saying, of this high counselor, Raikuzan, literally saying, let them riot. That district's being flattened in 6 months anyway. Just make sure they don't make the evening report. You find encrypted messages to private investors known as the architect, suggesting they share financial control. The expansion. Okay. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff here. I'm going to send this stuff over too. Okay. You find some footage. It's grainy, but it's a damning video of this gentleman Zan meeting with gang members in a warehouse shortly before the very bombing. That's something you guys might find interesting. Yeah, sent that stuff over too. Whole bunch of stuff there for you guys. Dig through. Take a look. Nancy Drew shit. You find another file as you guys are looking through and stuff like that. It's called the Silence Protocol. See a little quote that says, order through balance, balance through control. It says, for too long, the world has placed its fate in the hands of the Avatar. A single individual burdened with limitless power and uncertain morality. In an age of modern governance, spiritual validity, and technological revolution, such a power structure is not outdated. It is dangerous. The Avatar is not elected. They are not accountable, and worse, they are born of no system, no checks, no safeguards. Should one Avatar fall to madness, ideology, or corruption, the world would fall with them. We will not wait for that day to come. This initiative does not seek to destroy the Avatar or the traditions of the Four Nations. It seeks only to prepare for the inevitable imbalance that arises when one person is exalted above all others. It says we propose technological partiality. The development of systems capable of resisting, redirecting, or neutralizing elemental energy and spiritual phenomena. Political leverage, strategic placement of assets within world governments to limit any single bender's unchecked influence, including the Avatar. Public readiness, psychological operations to gently reshape public perception of the Avatar from savior or symbol as symbols can be replaced. These protocols will be deployed not in aggression, but in readiness. Should the Avatar fail us or be turned against us, we will not bow, we will not burn, and we will not be erased. These protocols will be developed not in aggression, like I said, but in readiness. Okay? Let no single soul hold the fate of the world in their hands again. Let silence be our shield. It has a little signature at the end that says the architect.
Not gonna lie, I don't see the above game. I don't see these people as the bad guy. They're trying to prevent the cataclysm that the Avatar will eventually commit, setting off the third series of Avatar.
Yeah, and I wrote this before I knew what I started getting this whole thing together before that actually got dropped, which is kind of like wild, but it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah,
I like
no,
how
no,
it kind of
it's
works.
great, but it's almost like, damn, don't get me wrong, these sound like really bad people, and I was just like, was this written before we got the announcement of the new series?
It totally was.
Because they don't sound like bad guys right now.
No, yeah, I know. Yeah. So there's another file called Project Null Suit. Codename Silence Protocol. Department Zaitao Special Security. I need to put up my glasses. My glasses in the other room I was using for other things.
Good job,
Directorate,
Alzan.
Subdivision 17, sorry. Not publicly acknowledged, says. This stuff is not anywhere public. Initiator is unknown. High-ranked official, okay. Redacted, okay. Basically, all this stuff is completely... Everything you're getting into here for all this is... everything's been redacted and changed and whatever, you know. But it seems that there are certain core features that go along with this null suit. Insulated fiber layers, okay, chi nullifying microfilament, waterproof interior mesh, and weight compensation systems. But it says it has different strategic implications for riot control, marketed as defensive suits for peacekeeping forces in heavily bender-populated regions. It has, yeah, let me go ahead and just send this stuff over to you too. Okay?
That is some very ominous stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, in the suit, I'm sorry, the file has another little, like, thumbnail attached to it. You guys don't want to check that out, do you? I'm gonna have to do that different. Oh, there we go. There we go. I got it now. Kappa! Alright. Now, granted, I want to make sure you know that most of this stuff I write this stuff week to week, so it is one of those things. But the concept for the game I had was long before I ever knew what the new Avatar series was. Okay, so that much is for sure.
Right.
I had no idea that was what it was. Literally, and then when I found out, it was like, okay, so they're making the new Avatar bad? What? Okay.
I think what I'm assuming is that the Avatar did something so horrendous and got so corrupted with something that it just happened to play out that way, I guess.
Yeah.
And now the new guy is doomed with this horrible perception of the Avatar.
Right. I didn't know that's what they were doing. Okay. I just want to.
Which I think was the plot twist of the plot twist right there, was like, oh, the Avatar is not a good person, supposedly.
I started thinking about this when Magpie introduced the game. I was like, what are we going to make a game about? I was like, originally I was just going to play a character in someone else's game. And I was pitching this character idea. And essentially what I've been using as my vigilante, okay, is essentially my character, okay? And yeah, it was the whole idea about, not trusting the Avatar. You know what I mean? Why should we put our faith into one person? Why not make, like, a enclave of our own? Essentially like the Avengers, okay?
Right.
But with Avatar.
I mean,
well, not Avatar, but with vendors.
You essentially are kind of like going down on like kind of one of the main themes of Korra too, because if you kind of notice throughout that series, there was always that lingering question of, why do we need you?
That's exactly where I got inspired. Why do we need this person? We shouldn't have to be relying. Yeah,
Yeah, it's exactly. Like you're really kind of like harping down on that point, which I think is actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
At the same time, that's where the pro-bending came from. The pro-bending came from that. That was the thing that was like, whatever I'm doing is going to have pro-bending.
For sure.
But anyway, so you guys got a lot to chew on here. I'd like to take a step back for a minute and let you guys chew on it. Okay? So I'm going to go step away from the computer and stuff, and just as soon as my phone stopped acting stupid, restart my phone. Well, I'm just gonna technology failing me. There we go. Now it's restarting. For some reason, I was trying to the touchscreen of my phone was just like, nope. But I've been using it a lot lately for all kinds of stuff, and because I got like the Bamboo Labs thing all linked to it, I could completely control it completely from my phone, and so I don't know. I've been asking a lot of it, it's also the control console for my 3D printer.
Phone's just like, dude, relax, man, chill.
Yeah. So now I've just restarted it. It should be okay now. But don't let me. I'm just gonna mute myself. I want to hear what you guys.
Hearing that we are being observed, I'm gonna kind of tell everyone that we should keep a more watchful eye for anyone that's being a little too observant.
Right?
I agree with that.
Yeah, so do I.
Maybe probably, I don't know, see if maybe one of the coaches is familiar with some of these gangs. Maybe we can, or know somebody that's familiar with these gangs, like link us up with like a, I don't know, a cop or something like that. That may have some sort of photos or something, yeah. So we could at least get like a, I don't know, like a description of what these general gang members may look like, so we have a better idea of who to keep an eye out for if it were to be some of these gang members. I mean, it could literally be anybody, but just in case. Yeah.
Or better yet, even possibly a location of where these guys hang.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
I have a
Sorry about
question.
that. Yeah.
Was anybody on the active, like that list that we had found? Um, was anybody on that list like identified as being tied to any of those three gangs? Like maybe they're the ones being sponsored by one of those three gangs or something like that? Give us somebody to go question or something. You know what I mean? Because maybe their benefactors are trying to manipulate this tournament in some way. Back alley deals and stuff and sport betting.
Yeah, pay off the judges in order to win their way to the top.
Yeah, getting people to throw matches and stuff like that, or breaking kneecaps. Yeah, before pregame and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it just popped in my. But yeah, somebody with better creativity should probably make that role.
Uh, all right. So you're looking for like any type of like descriptions or whatever of people and like.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm wanting to see if anybody on any of the opposing teams may be affiliated with the gangs that we've just kind of uncovered. Yeah.
Oh, I can confidently tell you no.
Oh, okay.
It was worth a shot, though.
Right.
I mean, that was a good idea.
Yeah.
I should have thought of that, but no.
All right. Well, that's the only angle I I've got really at the moment. Well, we know they had a bomb. It was military grade.
Mm-hmm.
Gangs involved.
I
So
don't
I heard.
think I was able to identify any possible bases that any parts were able to come from. Was I?
I'm sorry. What was the question? One more time.
When I was able to, when I identified those parts from the bomb, when I found out that they were military parts anyway, was I able to figure out any possible bases that they could have come from?
You okay? So they were definitely military grade, but it seems like they were not made by a formal military, meaning they were made with um military grade material. Okay,
Okay.
but it wasn't like
Wasn't like military stuff.
it was like professional grade, whatever. But great question. If we look into those files, go ahead and roll me a create.
I
And I'll
got a
look at
9.
a what?
I got a 9.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this much. Uh, there was among the stuff I was reading out to you that I actually provided in the chat. Somebody mentioning security guard or whatever about explosives that went missing. Okay, that were for like the leveling of an area out where they're supposed to be building that new like dam slash water plant. Okay, or power plant. Sorry. Um, that went missing like 2 weeks before that explosion.
Just vanished without a trace, huh?
Yeah, isn't that something? But unfortunately, you don't have the details on exactly what was stolen. But it's
Right.
a good place to start. A lot of these files are like little things that have been collected, over time, but they're not really, it seems like there's some holes. Okay. Like someone has been doing, a lot of work. One might call it detective work. Or someone's actually the mastermind. So you have this mission statement from someone called the architect, right?
Yeah.
And you have someone that is co-financer of this new project, okay, for expanding and stuff like that. Another benefactor or whatever, and somebody that's been uh, putting a thorn in their side, okay. One of them being a uh, um, saying either way, the architect is mentioned as well as maybe having something to do with trying to prevent this thing from being built.
But Hansu's gonna be like, I haven't had my tea yet, so all this is just looking like strings and dots. I haven't quite been able to connect anything.
All right, so Amanda, Nancy Drew. Amanda, are you still there?
Yep, I'm here.
Um. So you what's next? Now you have this information off of this thumb drive. Uh, what do you want to do with it?
My first thought was trying to show this to the officials, but I don't know if the officials are underneath. How do I put this? I don't know if the officials are involved, or whether or not they're going to try to cover up the information.
And how do you guys feel about this mission statement about not putting their faith in Avatar, but that kind of thing? How do you guys feel about all that?
They sound like a bunch of haters.
Kind of shocking considering everything we know about the Avatar, or at least what we've learned, is like, the bridge between the real and spirit world. They're supposed to bring balance. They're this good guy. Like, we wouldn't think that a person with that much power would succumb to, corruption. It's confusing.
Especially when the avatar is infused with the spirit of light as well.
Yeah. Like, sure, we might, they're one of us has probably learned something else, but I'm like, typically the Avatar is a good guy, right? I mean, we're talking, this is lunacy.
Yeah, every avatar may be different in their own way, Everyone is. But I wouldn't say that the avatar is bad.
Yeah.
Fully up to date with like the whole series, and it's been a long time since I've watched the original Avatar. Is there a spirit bending? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Like at the end of the series.
Yeah. Though the actual term for it is energy bend.
Yep. Think of it as like how Aang took away Ozai's bending at the end of the series 3.
That's exactly
show.
Right.
Yeah, essentially the actual term is energy bending. It's when you bend the energy in one person, or in the Legend of Korra's sense, bending the spiritual energy in either spiritual beings.
Cool. Well, with the game's core mechanic of being like yin and yang, with like the whole playbook setup, I'm wondering if mayhaps that this avatar isn't evil per se, but maybe if somebody is manipulating their energy, and kind of flipping them, from good to evil, but also for like personal gain, like maybe
I don't think essentially it's calling. I don't think this is calling the Avatar an evil person per se. I think it's just saying in the chance that an Avatar were to succumb to corruption, like, which,
yeah, like maybe
fair,
the avatar is being manipulated.
Yeah, like, to be fair, no one's ever really asked these questions, but it's not, it does kind of make somebody think. It's like, They are right in the sense that the Avatar does have ultimate power. That is a lot of power to have responsibility for.
There are two
But like,
sides to every story, though, but the only side everybody's seeing is how much power the Avatar can wield,
yeah,
So Patrick,
not what he's really doing for the whole world.
like essentially, this is getting into, and I'm only saying this above game, I guess, maybe in game, I don't know. Red Lotus territory. Which, that in itself is already some pretty dangerous thinking. We're talking radicalism.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's basically what we're leaning towards. It's like, they're not wrong, but the way they're going about it is a bit radical for my liking.
Right? They're trying, it's as if they're just trying to, like, she's not bad. They're just intentionally trying to turn people against the Avatar, trying to get rid
Yeah.
of it.
yeah,
Just
Essentially,
intentionally.
essentially, it's kind of the same radical thinking that led to, the equalist.
Yeah.
well,
So, yeah, I'm kind of concerned with what these files are giving us. Like, it almost seems like a whole assassination plot to take out the Avatar and make it look like it was the right thing to do.
Emotional damage.
Thank you.
That was perfect.
Sorry, my Avatar brain kind of just took over from there and just
Oh,
went with it.
you're good. Mine kind of did a little bit too for a bit.
No, you're good, dude. You're good. That's what this whole game is really about. Most of what I'm doing is just trying to get you guys to start talking.
Yeah, like you and I both, dude. You and I both were geeking out.
Right. But no, essentially my character overhears this and is just kind of like, yeah, no, I don't like where this is going, guys. Not at all. This seems really dangerous.
I'm with you, man. This seems really dangerous.
Should we take this to the proper authorities? That's the question. Or do we need to hold off knowing that, first game of the regular season's coming up? Do you really think we need to be involved in this?
hmm.
Can I get a oh
Exactly.
I don't know. Maybe we make a copy and deliver it to the authorities. And if nothing comes of it, then we will know that somebody's shady in that department. And then we'll just make another copy and take it to, like, I don't know. I'm assuming there's like a local news or something, some sort of, Ben Ulrich kind of style, get the truth out there, journalist or something, that we can.
Honestly, that seems like the right idea. For the time being, unless anyone disagrees with their idea, let's just take all of this to the proper authorities, let them look into it, and then we get some rest for tomorrow's big matchup. Because I want to win.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yeah.
unlike last time, I want to make sure that we actually get, we beat these guys pretty convincingly.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Any objections?
Okay.
Oh, cool.
No objection.
All right.
Cool, then I guess. Yeah, no, we'll take this over to some investigators and whatnot, and then get some rest for tomorrow's big day.
Yeah, we will
Start
take them
shadowboxing in the corner.
a copy.
Okay.
We will keep the original.
All right. So, Ghost Jive. Okay, and she says she has an additional thumb drive, the one that's empty, and she went ahead and formats it and copies the files over to it, and then she, with a sigh, hands it to you and says, "I hope this is the right thing to do. I'm not really sure what is what, but don't let this take your focus away from the upcoming match. You guys have a big match coming up tomorrow, as and that is very, very important. But do what you feel you need to." And she hands you the thumb drive.
Let's get this to the proper people.
Okay. So, let's say you spend some time doing that. Okay, you go down and you meet with you guys go down to the police station and meet with the clerk there at the front desk, and he asks you, how can I help you? You have something you'd like to report? We just fast traveled you guys to the police station.
So I'd like to go off and talk to the cop, show him the drive, and be like, we might have information that leads us to believe that there may be an organization um, forming within the shadows that might have something to do against, or they might be planning to do something against either the city or the Avatar. We just wanted to give this to y'all so that way proper investigation could be, made.
He looks at you a little bit confused. He says, "I don't think there is a current Avatar, is there?"
I was like, I mean, I don't think so, but it'd be worth looking over because it's pretty ominous.
Okay. Strange accusations to be making. I assure you. Do you have any kind of proof about any of this?
I just showed the flash drive. Is like all the information you need is on this flash drive.
All right. Takes the flash drive from you. He says, "Well, and I hope you'll be okay with filling out these documents." She handed you some forms and stuff like that about your so forth. The basic paperwork. Name. All like that. He says, "Wait a second. You look familiar." The police officer says, "Aren't you like a bender of some kind?"
I mean, yeah, I've been watching some of the pro bending whatchamacallit, preseason.
That's where I know you from. You're the newcomers. You guys still don't have a real name. You guys are the newcomers. Insert default name here.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's us.
Okay.
I'm one of the water benders.
Says if you don't mind, my kid's a big fan, and puts another piece of paper on the clipboard and says, "You wouldn't mind, signing it to Lee, would you?"
It's like, sure, I got you. I'll sign it on for him.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and I'll go ahead and he takes the zip drive and says, "I'll put this into evidence." I suppose. Make sure you get that back to me as soon as possible, and we'll take care of that. I'm sure someone will be in contact with you about this, that, and the other. So you take the time to fill out the documents, Is there any shenanigans going on here, or are you going to go ahead and fill out the documents and give them back to him?
I'm just gonna go up, fill out the document, hand them over, and then be on my way back to rest up for tomorrow's match.
Okay. With that, at this point in time, no one's really going to have time to look over this, as bureaucracy goes. So they will they'll take it, and I'm sure somebody will look at it eventually, and they're not really sure, what you're talking about. You know what I mean? They're like, okay, we'll look into it, Kitty. He's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, conspiracy. Take down the city. Got it. Right. Okay. We will look into this, and takes that thumb drive and your paperwork, takes it to the back. So then you are free to make your way back to do whatever it is you're doing. Okay. I do have a question before we go further. Okay, and that is, you guys are getting ready to go against the Ember Fangs yet again. Okay. And this is your first actual real bout. I would like to have the opportunity to put together something for visual aid. Okay. I also think you guys would benefit from having your guys' full team with you. This week you don't have that. I can't guarantee you will next week either, as scheduling is never certain. But my question is, do you want to proceed with this fight tonight with only the 4 of you, or would you prefer to wait until you guys are at full strength?
It's going to be up to the 3 other players. I think old Hanzu is going to cheer them on from the sidelines. So if they want to do some combat tonight, it's up to them.
I say let's just wait until we're back to full strength. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. Wait until we're all here. Plus, I think we should, since this would be our first legitimate tournament fight, I think we should actually have a real team name instead of just the newcomers.
We could be the bench warmers.
I ain't gonna be no damn bench warmer.
You know what? We should be known as the Legend Killers.
Look at Randy Orton slithering. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! I have voices in my head.
Exactly. Any other ideas, Will?
To think on that.
Yeah.
Try to find a way to incorporate everybody.
Sorry, I just realized I was muted. Sorry. So, yeah. So let's plan on doing that. Okay, that would give me a chance to put together you guys' little visual aid for the game. Seeing as there are 3 rounds, everyone will have an equal opportunity to really actually get into it. We'll just go ahead and get straight into the fight next week. When we go ahead and get on, and hopefully in those 3 hours, three or so hours, we'll be able to actually get all the way through the entire fight without being, whatever. We'll see. It'll be fun. I look forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Ember Fangs rematch. Okay. All right. Well, Does anyone else have anything that they would like to do this evening before we depart?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are a few questions to be answered, as it is with all of our sessions. At the end of each of our sessions, it has a little thing for growth. Okay. And one, did you learn something challenging, exciting, or complicated about the world?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that is corrupt.
Literally.
Yeah.
Did you stop a dangerous threat or solve a community problem?
Well, we're on our way to doing that.
I
Potentially.
think you are too. Did you guide a character towards balance or end the session at your center? I guess most of you would end the session at your center because I really didn't do a whole lot of the balance stuff. But yeah, you guys definitely all ended the session at your center. So you guys could definitely go ahead and get 2 growth points, each of you. And that'll help you towards unlocking yourselves later. Those that weren't here this week, well, that's unfortunate. We'll discuss if we want to go ahead and award their characters growth points, even though they weren't actually here. That's up to you guys. And as we always do at the table in the tavern, be kind to each other, okay? Because we're all in this together. And I guess say goodnight, everyone.